Good afternoon, seventh grade Bobcats. Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to what I hope will be another great week for you here at the Helena Middle School. On today's Bob lessons, one of my favorites, it's called Why I Respect Dandelions. And kind of the origin of this Bob lesson was trying to keep my grass green and dealing with these nagging, annoying dandelions that would grow in and trying to put weed and feed on them and get rid of them. And I also started to notice that dandelions grow in some of the craziest places. I was walking once down the street and I noticed a dandelion growing right between a crack in the cement. And I started thinking more about dandelions and more about their resiliency and more about how they grow under distressed and tough conditions. And I actually started having more and more respect for dandelions as I equated it metaphorically to human beings and students. With the holidays right around the corner, I know this is a tough time for a lot of students, and I started thinking about students that grow under different soils, if you will, students that grow different home environments, students that are able to persevere and develop grittiness and grow through adverse circumstances, and wanted to make a Bob lesson about that. So I hope this inspires some of you. I hope some of you enjoy it, and I hope you guys have a great week.
Why I Respect Dandelions. Kind of a crazy name, I know, but stick with me and it'll all make a lot of sense here in a couple minutes. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be Bob. Let's be safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. And we're on to a new. All right, before I get going on this, I got to give you a little background about where this idea came from. I had this idea last spring, and I have a house and I have this big lawn where I live. And for some reason, I really take pride in my lawn. I like it looking green and plush and nice. And me and Mr. Kepler, who lives across the street from me, we have this secret unspoken competition to see whose lawn is nicer, and mine is nicer, by the way. And every spring, sure enough, I have these dandelions popping up. And every spring I get super annoyed by these dandelions popping up. So I spray True Green to come and take care of the dandelions and to feed my lawn so that it's nice and green for the summer. And one day I came across a dandelion growing in the cement crack somewhere. And all of a sudden I started thinking about dandelions in a whole new perspective. So I started looking at the differences between flowers and dandelions. I think both are actually very pretty, and but both are considered to be two completely different things. And if you look at the differences in preparation and care between people that have flowers or flower beds at their homes and dandelions that grow in some of the toughest conditions, you'll see a stark difference. Flowers are strategically planted in locations with optimal sunlight because you'll learn in biology class and photosynthesis that plants need sunlight to live. Where dandelion seeds are just strewn wherever, they spread and grow, and they basically grow wherever they land. Flowers are planted in nutrient-rich soil with not just the dirt, but then some added in dirt, high levels of nutrients in there. Where the seeds of dandelions grow in dirt, and as you'll see here in a minute in the next slide, sometimes in the cracks of cement where there's just a little dirt in between some cement. Flowers are watered daily or every other day, where dandelions get their water whenever it rains. There may be dry stretches of days on end in the summer when there is no rain, and they have to persevere and go without. Flowers are given fertilizer as food, so they have their nutrient-rich soil and they get fertilizer in their food in the dirt, where dandelions obviously have no fertilizer added. So one day I was walking and I came across a dandelion growing out of the crack of the cement in a sidewalk. And I don't remember where it was or when it was, but it was very similar to this picture right here. And I kind of had this moment, where I had this new appreciation for dandelions, their perseverance, their grit, how they find a way to grow and flourish and be their best, given some of the toughest circumstances imaginable. If you look at this dandelion seed and how it found its way in between this little crack of dirt, between a brick wall and a sidewalk somewhere, and how it laid down its roots, and without fertilizer and without sunlight, and maybe getting stepped on, it found a way to grow and flourish and be this beautiful plant. And I started thinking about us as human beings and how some of us don't have those same resources that flowers do, and how some of us are able to overcome and be our best regardless. So you may be asking yourself, Mr. Flato, what do flowers and dandelions have to do with me? Well, I think we can take a lesson from dandelions. When we look at resources, when we look at dandelions' ability to grow and to flourish without a whole lot of resources, I think there's a lot of lessons and things we can take from that. Dandelions grow and prosper in some of the toughest conditions imaginable, and they fulfill their one objective, which is just growing and being beautiful. At the Helena Middle School, what is our objective? Our objective is to come to school every day, give 110% effort, build a foundation so that one day we can go out in the world and be whatever it is we want to be. And I know that many of us come from different backgrounds with different levels of resources. But the awesome thing about living in this country, the awesome thing about Helena Middle School, is we have so many resources here at the school that there really isn't any reason why we all shouldn't be successful. We have teachers that care about us, we have counselors that care about us, paraprofessionals, nurses, principals, cafeteria staff. You are surrounded by many adults who really care about you and your success. And whatever it is you want to be out there in life, you can be. Now, that may take persevering and getting through and showing some grit, much like the dandelion does. But if dandelions can do it, why can't we as human beings do it? So I hope you guys like this metaphor, like this comparison. I hope that inspires some of you to be whatever it is you want to be in life. Um, my interview with Governor Bullock last year, he said education is the great equalizer, and I know a lot of our teachers believe that same thing. Through education, you can equip and empower yourself with knowledge. And with that knowledge can take you anywhere you want to go in life. But it takes getting up every day and working hard and making use of the resources here at school and having a plan and having a vision and going out and executing that vision day in, day out. Having the discipline to execute that vision even when you don't feel like you want to. When it's tough to get out of bed, or things aren't perfect at home, or things aren't perfect in your social life, blocking that out, coming to school, and being your best. This week's quote of the week is, hard work puts you where good luck can find you. Think about that. So much of everything in life is about working hard and being your.
All right, that brings us to this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week winners. We've got Sweet Caroline, Jasmine Fish, Seth Lieberg, Chase Foster, and Morgan May. The answer to last week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week: what are the two things you can't eat for breakfast? Well, obviously lunch and dinner. Nice job, you guys. This week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week: what five-letter word would be pronounced the same even if the last four letters were removed? Do you think you know? Submit your answer to the Bob Box. And tune in next week to see if you're a winner. All right, Bobcats, let's make it a great week at the Helena Middle School. One quick final note. We are once again doing the winter snack bags. If you are a student, okay, that could use a winter snack bag, please come grab one of these forms in the counseling center right by the lamp, fill it out, and put it in the envelope. If you are a student that has food at home and food is not an issue over break, please refrain from filling these out. If you are a student where food gets short over Christmas break, come definitely fill one of these out. Let's make sure we get it done this week so we know how many snack bags to make. Make it great week.